What's up, everyone? So, in today's video, I'm going to actually show you how to build an offer that sells. So, right now, you're probably selling something that absolutely no one absolutely wants to buy. If you're running an info product, coaching program, or just a course or something like that, this is definitely for you. And I'm going to teach you how to build an offer that sells and people want to buy and eat up. So, this is probably your situation right now, right? So, this is probably you. You've got amazing deliverables and can actually get people results. There's a lot of people out there that are selling something that they've never done and can't get people results. But I'm assuming you're that person who can get people those results. You have traffic coming in from organic. You actually have that organic traffic, but for some reason you just can't convert that traffic into buyers. That's the most important thing, right? Buy like views on your videos don't mean anything if they can't be converted into cash in your bank or in your pocket. And you know your program and coaching is better than anyone else's on the market, but the problem with all this is just no one is buying, right? At the end of the day, the most important metric is how much cash was collected. And for you right now, it's not as much as you want. So before you go ahead and blame your marketing, your content, your messaging, your ads, your sales team, right, or anyone else or anything else, have a look at your offer first. Because I guarantee you, if you have the traffic coming in, if you have the ads dialed in, if you have people actually coming into book calls, getting people to actually um, like your content, then it's probably something wrong with your offer in your messaging and aligning those two things together, right? Because that's the main thing. If your offer doesn't align with your messaging and your ads, then it's not going to buy it, plain and simple. If it doesn't align with your personal brand, it will not convert. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this. And just a quick plug, if you guys do need help with your marketing, sales, anything wise with your info product, right, just hit me up. First link in the description below, or DM me on Instagram if that's in the description as well. So let me actually show you how to build an offer that sells. So step one is actually making sure that we can sell the offer. Like we're crafting the offer. So do you know what you need to sell? So that's the first thing, right? That's the most important thing. A lot of these people, when they come in, they don't actually know what they need to sell, especially if you're bootstrapping an offer from the beginning. A lot of people, they just go ahead and sell what they think they should sell. Now, the other thing is, are you actually qualified to sell this? Now, I'm assuming this is you, but when you when you're seeing if you're actually qualified, you need to answer these three questions, right? Why would people listen to you? Have you actually got the results that where your ideal customer wants to be? Are you where your ICP wants to be, right? You used to be here and now you're here, but the person you're trying to sell to is here, right? Do you have social proof and testimonials? Of course, that could be you. You could have already gotten other people results. And what is your story, right? People like to hear stories. So that's another thing. So if you have all these three things ticked off, right? If you have a good story, if you have a good story, you have a reason as to why people should listen to you, have your social proof and testimonials, you're actually qualified to sell this. Now, the other thing is, do you know what you need to sell? And the way to do this is through market research. Now, the way we do market research is we ask specific questions and we actually ask the audience to see if what we're selling is what they want to buy, right? Because when you don't have the money for ads, you don't have the luxury of targeting. You have to work with what you've got. Majority of the time, the targeting with who you're targeting with your content and your ICP is the same as your ads, right? Sometimes it's not. So we ask a couple questions with our market research just to make sure that we get our ideal customer. So we ask things like, what's their current problem? So what's their current situation? Um, their beliefs and distrust, for example, bad experiences they had with other coaching programs, with just the market in general, story playing in their head, right? So what's something that's occurred to them that's created distrust in the market? So they could be like getting scammed by another coaching program, or maybe this thing just hasn't worked for them. For example, if it's in the fitness market, right? They've tried weight loss before, it just hasn't worked for them. What's the current limiting beliefs, right? Let's say, for example, in fitness again, weight loss just doesn't work for them, dieting doesn't work for them, or that so they're told, right? So things like that. Then we also ask questions like, what's a learning curve, right? Learning curves they've had, current limiting beliefs, or main things that they want to learn. Why do they think it's important to know these things? When did they first come across this business, or just the mechanism in general? Now, it's so important to ask these questions because it allows us to really deeply understand our ICP and our audience and who we're trying to sell, right? So the last thing that we do when we are doing market research is we go into learning their buying beliefs, right? So this is what I like to call emotional triggers, because when you're trying to sell to people, you don't sell the surface level desires or pain and problems, right? You sell the emotional and deeper level problems and buying beliefs, right? So for example, let's say the surface level problem for someone is they want to lose weight. Why do they want to lose weight? They might be struggling with actually breathing, so it might be a health problem. They might not be able to spend time with their family as much because they don't have as much energy to actually go out and maybe go out running, go to the beach, right? They feel ashamed of themselves. So it could be a self-esteem problem, things like that. That's actually what's going to get you to sell, right? That's what you have to put in your messaging and your offer. Now, this is essentially how we can make sure that we craft an offer that people actually want to buy. And now we're going to go ahead and go into things of what actually makes up an offer. So where it's packaged into one sentence where people will be like, yep, I want to take the next step. So let's go right into this, right? Now, step 2 is actually crafting the offer. So there's actually 4 key parts when crafting the offer. There's who, what, when, and how, right? Now, the only thing here missing is the why, and the why is answered by why do people actually want to get this problem fixed. So that's what we answered here in the market research. We already have the why here, right? So let's go right into it, crafting the actual offer. So first we're going to go with who. So who are we actually serving? Who is our ICP, right? When we are selling someone, we need to be really specific about who we're specifically serving, right? No matter what market you're in, your market is big and you just can't serve everyone, right? For example, imagine this is your market. There's a huge circle here, right? And what you want to do is literally carve out your piece of the market here. And the way we do that is by being specific on a specific problem, demographic, psychographic, or desire that our ICP wants, right? And eventually, once you've capitalized and like monopolized that market, then you can start expanding and expanding out. You don't start big and start going small and smaller. Start small and then you start expanding. So that's actually how you become big in your market. So we need to first, when you're coming in bootstrapping, coming into a new niche or a new market as a new person, right? You already have lots of competitors because you don't want to go into a market that's not proven, right? So the way to make the most money is to carve out a specific part of the market and become the go-to expert in that specific niche within your market. For example, let's say you again in fitness, just because it's the easy example, right? Let's say you're a fitness creator, right? And you want to obviously help people get fitter. The mechanism and the way the deliverables are all the same. It doesn't matter who you're targeting, but you could be targeting specifically CEOs, right? Those people, that's a specific demographic or psychographic that you're targeting, and you're not catering to everyone. You're only catering to CEOs, busy people, right? So people, this is a big rule of thumb, right? And a huge misconception with a lot of people. People who niche down and target specific people make more money, not the other way around, right? The reason for this is if you speak to everyone, you speak to no one, right? So that is like as simple as it can get. If you speak and cater to everyone, you're speaking to no one. So no one is hearing their specific problems being adhered to. No one's hearing their specific desires being called to, right? So you're speaking to everyone. To be able to obviously understand this, you need to have done the market research, which we went over here. So that's how we understand who it is. So when we're speaking, we can speak to specific things such as people's characteristics, the demographics, the psychographics, the pains, problems, and desires. We don't just have to call out things like let's just say men aged 18 to 30, right? We could call out specific pains they have. We could have like men struggling with beer belly or something like that, right? We could be specific about a characteristic. So this is what actually differentiates a offer from 10K to 25K to 50K to 100K a month, right? Like this one thing, just being specific on who you're targeting can literally 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x your income, because if you target specific people, right, you target their specific pains and problems. Of course, the one thing you have to make sure is that they have money, that audience has money, right? So let me break this down from a 10K offer to a 25K a month offer to a 50 to 100K a month offer, right? And just for reference, right, I've ran up offers to over $50,000 a month, right, plus. So I know what I'm doing. So how can we actually know what offer is what? So a 10K a month offer in the relationship market, for example, right, would be something like everyday people trying to find love. Again, this is kind of mass market. So if we were to imagine this circle was the market of relationships, right, we would be literally targeting this entire circle. Now, let's say a 25K month offer, right? Middle-aged women who can't find a partner as they feel like they're too old to get back in a dating game. So what we actually did here is we targeted a specific pain slash desire, because these middle-aged women, they want to be able to date again, but they feel like there's this limiting belief here that they can't get back in the dating game because they're too old, right? So we're targeting a specific pain and desire. Now, a 50K to 100K a month offer, a CEO and bosses struggle to find love because of their busy schedule. The reason I say this is a 50K to 100K a month offer is because the demographic and the psychographic is such higher, much more affluent, and much usually have a lot more money, right? So they're the CEOs and bosses, right? And they're really busy. Usually they are running a huge company and they have a lot of money, and this is a huge pain for them. They don't have the time availability or the time to invest into dating, right? So they will pay a lot of money for someone to help them with this specific problem. So that's why that's a 50K to 100K a month offer. But problem wise, these, in terms of the demographic, these are pretty even. It's just who we're specifically targeting. So that's how you actually carve out your market with who. So for example, with this middle-aged women here, this would be a much bigger market compared to the 50K to 100K a month offer. It's just that we're targeting a much more affluent audience there. So this audience would carve out, let's say, about that much, right? This would be the 25K a month offer. This could obviously get ran up a lot more, right? If you guys have your marketing and everything a lot all dialed in. But if we're just specifically targeting about the who, a 50K to 100K a month offer the CEO and bosses, right? That would be a much smaller market. That would be like that small because there's not many CEOs and business bosses out there, right? But they are just so much more affluent and usually have a lot more money, right? So that's how you figure out who. So next step into actually crafting your offer is the what. So when you craft the what of your offer, there's three specific verticals that you have to go into, right? What results do they actually want to get? What effort do they have to put in? And what risk do they have to take? So before we go into this, I want to kind of take you guys to this little graph here, which I call the differentiation graph, right? So when you're creating your offer, the way you can sell something is you have to differentiate. It's plain and simple, right? You cannot sell something if you're not different from your market, because at that point, right, then it's just a game of who's got the lower price, right? And eventually it's just a race to the bottom. So the way to stay competitive and actually charge high to get higher prices is differentiation. So there's two types of differentiation. There's differentiate increase and differentiate decrease, right? That's what I like to call it. But really, like what I'm doing right now, it's just packaging the same shit, just different words, right? So what is differentiate increase, right? So differentiate increase is key factors in the offer that we want to increase what they actually are, and then vice versa, key factors in an offer with factors that we want to decrease what they are. So let me go with the differentiate increase. So we want to increase the perceived value. Talk directly. The way we do this is we talk directly to them, right? Make it undeniable that you are the person to help them go from A to B, right? So this will increase the perceived value, therefore make it more likely that they will pay your high ticket prices. Now, the other thing that we also want to increase is increase their perception of you getting them from A to B, right? Make them believe that you can get them the results. Of course, you don't want to sell anything if you're not able to get them to those end results from point A to point B, but make them feel like you are the person to get them to those desired results the fastest and smoothest and the easiest for them, right? So we want to increase these perceptions with our audience when it comes to actually building the offer. Now, differentiate decrease, right? We want to decrease the effort and work they have to put in. Here's the thing, people are inherently lazy. They don't want to put in the work, right? And this is just something that's come from a lot of years with evolution. So people just don't want to put in the work. It's so easy to win right now because people don't want to put in the work. So if you can take away and decrease the effort they have to put in, this will increase your likelihood you will sell something because people hear that they don't have to do as much work to get the same result with another product, right? If you're comparing two products and yours was easier to get the results and it was the same price point, people would be more likely to go with you because you have a higher incentive for them, which is not putting in as much work, right? Now, the other thing that you also want to decrease is decrease the risk that they'll have to take. People are naturally risk averse. And here's the thing with people will more likely than not, right? Compared on how exposed they are to risks, people will more likely not take a risk to not gain something, but also not lose something, than to take a risk to actually gain something. So let me just say that again, right? Let's say we have let's just say there's this little shiny diamond, right? If I can draw it. And to be that's like an acorn. And to be able to get that, you have to take risk, right? You have to take risk. Now, people will naturally shy away and not do anything and stay where they are right now to just not potentially lose anything, right? Let's say they have the potential to lose $10,000 to be able to get this diamond, right? Now, people won't even try to go for it because they're just so risk averse that they'd rather not win the diamond and $10,000 than risk losing anything right now. So you have to also leverage this, knowing this information, right? And this has come from years of evolution, especially when we were like in our primate age, right? We'd have to figure out what we'd have when it came to risk, we'd have to know what to actually avert away from and go towards, right? So yeah, if you leverage this, right, then you'll be able to sell something more because if you can decrease the risk, people will more likely go with you. Now, the last thing is decrease time perception, or how long they will have to wait to make that time transformation, right? So, of course, when you're making this, you're taking them from point A to point B, right? And this little bridge here, this little road, is the vehicle that's getting them from point A to point B. Now, if you can make your vehicle shorter compared to your competitors while still having the same price, right? And you can convey this in your messaging, you will sell a lot more compared to your competitors, right? For example, if this took 120 days and yours took 60 days, half the time, right? Who will they go with more, right? Obviously you. If they had all the facts, right? If it was just laid out on paper, you logically they'd go with more. If the success rate was the exact same, everything was the same, they would go with you. I would go with you, right? So we need to be able to do that. So going back to this, right? We need to have what. So that we need to have what results do they actually get? What effort do they have to put in? What risks do they have to take? Right? So when they hear about us, what is the outcome they will be receiving? Our market doesn't care. People don't care about how we're going to get them from point A to point B, especially B2B, right? They just care about what point B is and what they actually want. Sorry, especially B2C, sorry. What is the effort they have to put in? We naturally want to decrease the effort that gets them from point A to point B. Majority of the B2C market is lazy and just want the easiest way to make a lot of money. When it comes to B2B market, this is the exact same in terms of wanting decrease of effort, but they aren't necessarily lazy, but they're just looking for the highest output for the lowest amount of input. So they want the maximum results, minimal effort. Like rightfully so, that's all what we want, right? Especially when it comes to B2B. So the third what is what risk they'll have to take. Like I told you, people are naturally risk averse, so if we can get rid of the risk for them, they'll be more likely to take action. We can decrease the risk by having a risk reversal. Now, let me show you putting these what's into action in terms of a market state, in terms of an offer statement, right? So let's say this first statement here is on ticking only one what, right? What they're gonna get from us. We will get you your dream car partner. So that's ticking one what, right? Now, the second statement, we will help you get your dream partner, or we don't get paid and we will work with you for free until you do, right? So there we tick off a second what. That's a little risk reversal. Now, the third and final statement is we will get you a dream partner completely done for you, or we don't get paid and we will work with you for free until you do, right? So that's the third one. You guys probably didn't even realize it, but we just added in this completely done for you part, right? And that is decreasing the effort. They don't even have to do it anymore. We do it for them, right? And you can see how much better of an offer it is compared to this 1 watt to 3 watts, right? So we hit all 3 watts in this and essentially craft our promise, right? So this is what we're doing. We're crafting a promise for the market. By ticking all 3 of these, this equals a promise that we can give to them. Now, when, right? This is the third from the third point of crafting the offer. When. So this is very simple, right? When will they reach that promise? When will they get results? People need to know when, and people need to know everything when they make a decision. So if you can place a finite time for them to be able to for them to know when they'll be able to get results, then they will be much more comfortable in investing with you. If we decrease the time it takes them to go from point A to point B, then this can act as the final nail in the coffin when comparing competitors' offers with your offer. However, make the time of the delay believable, as if as you offer something that sounds too good to be true, then this can turn customers away, right? So, for example, offer one, we will help you build and land your first Airbnb property in 180 days or less, guaranteed. Or offer two, we will help you build and land your Airbnb property in 90 days or less, guaranteed. Now, both of these are believable. I actually run one of these offers, which is this one, right? And if you put them on face value on paper, right, just taking it off that, which one are you going with? Obviously this one, because it's half the time. This is 3 months. This is 6 months, right? In those 3 months difference, you could have already acquired another property and another property, right? So if we were to craft this into offer, right? Offer with a time delay, we'll get you in. This is another relationship offer, right? Connecting with the last one I did. We will get you your dream partner completely done for you in 120 days, or we don't get paid and we will work with you for free until you do, right? Obviously, you'd package it a bit better, but you can see how we're eventually crafting the offer, adding in all these little things, right? We've got the who, we've got the what, we've got the when, right? Now, the how. So, how are you going to get them from point A to point B? How are you going to be able to make this offer? So, this is where you can introduce a unique mechanism, a unique name, right? This is how you introduce a unique mechanism or a unique name. This is when you could create a new name to your process that allows you to be differentiated from the rest of the competitors. This creates intrigue in the lead's mind as it makes them want to learn more. We as humans naturally have an innate feeling to want to know what we don't know, which comes from an ancestral survival instinct. Also, that new name acts as a pattern interruption, as we as humans are always recognizing patterns, and when we see something that breaks that pattern or breaks the status quo, it makes it stand out and has the need to investigate, right? You can see this everywhere in every single level of societal norms, in high school, in life, right? Someone just stands out or does something away from what the norm does, right? What the normal people do, then they stand out. They might even get bashed for it, right? So, if we were to do this in a sentence, right, we'll get you a dream partner completely done for you in 120 days, or we don't get paid, and we'll work with you for free until you do with our attraction magnet method. Now, this is a little wordy. You would package this a lot better, right? But you can kind of see how it sort of comes together, right? Now, one quick thing is sometimes when it comes to specific offers, you don't necessarily need a brand new mechanism, especially for B2B, as most B2B see through the BS names. As long as you've got your who, what, and when dialed in. Sorry, not why. And you did your market research, then you should have market differentiation, and your offer should sell compared to the others, right? The main thing that you want is to just have this market differentiation here, right? If you have this, then you are completely set. But with all these things set in place, your who, your what, your when, and your how, right? Then you have a complete offer that will sell. So that's pretty much how you actually sell an offer. And if you guys need any help at all, right, conducting market research, have any questions, click the first link below. I can help. I'll be holding a call with you, help you out, see what your bottlenecks are, or just DM me your questions on Instagram. I'll be more than happy to answer. See you guys in the next one.